Chairman, sir. I believe in the checkered history of our country. We have passed many resolutions from different political parties and platforms embodying our demands for a free and independent state for our motherland. But so far as today's resolution is concerned, it has a special significance. It is for the first time in the history of our country since we came under British rule that we have met to frame our own constitution. It is a great responsibility. In fact, as the honorable mover of the resolution reminded us, it is a solemn and a sacred trust which we Indians have agreed to perform, and we propose to do so to the best of our ability. Now, sir, the amendment which has been moved by Dr. Jaika raises certain questions of fundamental importance. I'm sorry I cannot support the amendment. The effect of the amendment practically is that we cannot pass a resolution of this description until the sections, if they ever meet at all, until the sections have met and made their recommendations. Dr. Jaikar wants that we should not pass this resolution until both the Indian states and the Muslim League are enabled to attend the Constituent Assembly. So far as the Indian states are concerned, they cannot come, even if they wish to, until the sections have met and settled the provincial constitution, which means so many months which none can foretell. So far as the Muslim League is concerned, no doubt everyone regrets that the Muslim League has not found it possible to attend the preliminary session of the Constituent Assembly. But what guarantee is there that if this resolution is postponed till January 20th, as Dr. Jaikar suggests, the Muslim League will come and attend this session? I feel, sir, that the question really should be looked at from a different point of view. Does this resolution raise issues which are in any way inconsistent with the Cabinet Mission Scheme of May 16? If it does raise issues which are inconsistent with that scheme, then obviously we are prejudging matters. We are raising matters which we have no right to do. Now that document, to my mind, is something like a puzzle picture. You can interpret it just as you like from your own angle of vision. It is capable of so many interpretations in so many places. But looking at the resolution as it stands, what is the declaration that it is making now? Certain fundamental things about which there can be no difference of opinion. I know, sir, that when we go into some details, we have referred to at least one matter on which many of us hold divergent views. That is the question of residuary powers. Because that is a matter which the Cabinet Mission Scheme has included within the framework of the Constitution that it contemplates. That is a matter on which the Indian National Congress has expressed its opinion. That is a matter, I believe, on which the Muslim League also has expressed its opinion. Now, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, as the mover of the resolution, also made it clear that we are not framing the Constitution of India. We are passing a resolution at this stage, at the preliminary stage, just outlining the shape that the future Constitution of India should take. In other words, when the time actually comes for us to frame the Constitution, I believe, sir, it will be open to anyone to bring up any matter that he chooses before the House as an amendment to any proposal that may be made, which is bound to be considered on its merit. The passing of this resolution, I take it, can be no legal bar whatsoever against any member bringing forward any amendment to the draft constitution that this assembly may frame at a later stage. Now, if assurances are forthcoming on these two issues, namely that the resolution as drafted does not go against the main features of the cabinet mission scheme, and also it does not commit the Constituent Assembly in a definite manner with regard to the details of the Constitution that is yet to come, I see no reason why any obstacle should be put forward to passing the resolution at this stage. The resolution has an importance of its own. After all, we are sitting here not in our individual capacity, but we claim to represent the people of this great land. Our sanction is not the British Parliament. Our sanction is not the British government. Our sanction is the people of India. And if that is so, we have to say something, not merely to frame rules and regulations, but we have to say something concrete to the people of India as to why we are assembled here on 9th of December 1946. If what Dr. Jaikar says had been the correct position, then this Constituent Assembly should not have been called at all. In fact, Dr. Jaikar should not have attended the meeting. He should have informed the Governor General that I regret I cannot accept your invitation because I feel you are doing wrong in calling the Constituent Assembly when the Muslim League and the Indian states are not attending. But having come here for us to raise this issue is practically to walk into the trap of the Muslim League and to strengthen the hands of reactionaries in Great Britain. I know, sir, that Dr. Jaikar will be the last man to do such. I admire his courage of conviction. In fact, everyone who feels that certain things should be done must be enabled to come forward and present his viewpoint. But we also may respectfully point out to him the great danger that lies in the innocent-looking amendment which he has put forward before the House. And I hope that he will withdraw the amendment in due course when the time comes. Sir, I would like just to say a few words with regard to another aspect of it. The resolution is there, but are we going to implement it? What are the impediments that we already see before us, which will prevent us from carrying this resolution into effect? Now, sir, one of course is the status of the Constituent Assembly in the absence of the Muslim League. Dr. Jaikar said yesterday, he referred to some analogy of a dinner party. He said if guests are invited, and if some guests do not come, then how can you have the dinner party? But he forgot to say that what would be the fate of the guests who have already arrived. If he is going to be the host and he invites 6 guests, 5 of them come and 1 doesn't, is he going to starve those 5 or turn them out of his house and say, if the 6th has not come, you are not going to get your food? Obviously not. In fact, Mr. Churchill said that the absence of the Muslim League in the Constituent Assembly is something like the absence of the bride in the church when the marriage was going to take place. Well, I do not know if the Indian states has to come, the Muslim League has to come, how many brides the Constituent Assembly is going to have ultimately. In any case, if that is Mr. Churchill's point of view, he should not play the role of a seducer. He should have asked Mr. Jinnah to come back to India and join the Constituent Assembly and place his point of view before the people of India. So no one has said that the Muslim League should not come. In fact, we want that the Muslim League should come so that we can meet face to face. If there are difficulties, if there are differences of opinion, we do not wish that we should carry only by majority votes. That may have to be done at the last resort. But obviously every attempt must be made, will be made, to come to an agreement as regards to future constitution of India. But why is the Muslim League being prevented from that? My charge is, sir, the Muslim League is not coming because of the British attitude. The Muslim League is being encouraged to feel that if the Muslim League does not come, it will be able to veto the final action of the Constituent Assembly. The power of veto in some form or other has passed into the hands of the Muslim League. And that is the danger that threatens the future activities of this great assembly. Sir, I am not going to discuss, because this is not the time, not the occasion when I can discuss in detail the various provisions of the statements. But I would certainly say this, that this Constituent Assembly, although it is a British creation for the time being, but once it comes into existence, it has the power, if it has the will, to assert its right and to do what is best and proper for the good of the people of India, irrespective of caste, creed, or community. Now, sir, we have said, at any rate the Indian National Congress has said, because that was one of the major parties with whom negotiations went on, that they stand by the cabinet mission scheme of May 16th. It gladdened my heart yesterday when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel got up, interrupting Dr. Jaikar, and said that the Congress has not accepted anything beyond this statement of May 16, 1946. That I considered to be an announcement of fundamental importance. We have got to make it clear as to what we are here for. Of course, I would give my viewpoint, tender my advice to this great assembly when I say that our attitude should be something like this. We shall give the cabinet mission scheme of May 16 a chance. Genuinely, honestly, we shall see if we can come to an agreement with the other parties and elements on the basis of the scheme of May 16, 1946. But subsequent interpretations, we are not going to accept. There has been considerable difference of opinion with regard to one clause of the statement of May 16, 1946. And that is with regard to the question of grouping. Now it is for the Congress to decide, as one of the major parties involved, what interpretation it is going to accept ultimately. If the interpretation as given by His Majesty's government is not accepted, and if Congress considers that the interpretation put upon that portion of the statement by itself is correct, then of course a crisis may come. But that is a question which has to be decided apart from a discussion on this resolution. In fact, the greater the delay in making a decision on that question, the greater will be the atmosphere of unreality so far as the proceedings of this House are concerned. But after that question is decided, supposing the interpretation put by His Majesty's government is accepted, whether by reference to the federal court or not, I need not go into. Then we shall go on. We shall proceed with our work. The Muslim League will come, or it may not come. If it comes, well and good. Even if it does not come, we must claim to proceed along with the business of the Constituent Assembly. I feel, sir, that if a crisis does come, as I visualize, it is likely to come if ever India is to be free. It is not going to be done through constitutional means in view of the developments that have taken place during the last few days. It will not be done so easily. But if it has to be done, I would say, sir, that that should be done through the agency of this Constituent Assembly and none other. If ultimately we have to function, we shall function on our own responsibility and prepare a constitution which we shall be able to place before the bar of world opinion and satisfy everyone that we have treated the people of India, minorities and all, in a just and equitable manner. After all, what happened with regard to the South African question? We have today in our midst Mrs. Pandit, who has come back to her motherland after a great victory. But even there, she was not supported by our self-constituted trustee, His Majesty's government in Great Britain. In fact, the vote went against India, so far as Great Britain was concerned. But she won. The Indian delegates won before the bar of world opinion. Similar may be the case with regard to the activities of the Constituent Assembly also. If we take courage in both hands and frame a constitution which will be just and equitable to all, then we shall be able, if need be, to declare this Constituent Assembly as the first parliament of a free and sovereign Indian Republic, able to form our own national government and enforce our decision on the people of this land. As I said a few minutes ago, our sanction is not the British people or the British government. Our sanction is the people of India. And therefore, we have to make the ultimate appeal to the people of our country. Sir, when we talk about minorities, it is suggested as if the Muslim League represents the only minority in India. But that is not so. There are other minorities. Hindus also constitute a minority in at least 4 provinces in India. And if minority rights have to be protected, such rights must affect every minority, which may vary from province to province. Only last night, Lord Simon made this startling announcement that the Constituent Assembly sitting in Delhi consists of only caste Hindus. So many false statements have been uttered during the last few days in England that perhaps it is difficult to count them all together. But who are represented in this House today? There are Hindus. There are some Muslims too. At least there is one Muslim province which comes as representatives of a government which is functioning there in spite of the Muslim League. There are the representatives of the province of Assam, which is supposed to be a part and parcel of Mr. Jinnah's Pakistan to come. That province also is officially represented by the majority of the people of that province. You have the scheduled castes, All the members, scheduled caste members who have been elected to the Constituent Assembly are here. Even Dr. Ambedkar, who may not agree with us in all matters, is here present. And I take it, it will be possible for us to convert him or reconvert him and to get him to our side when we go on discussing questions of detail affecting the interests of the sections that he represents. There are other scheduled caste members also present here. The Sikhs are present here, all of them. The Anglo-Indians are present here. Indian Christians are present here. So how did it lie in the mouth of Lord Simon? Parsis also are present here. I'm glad. Last but not the least, Parsis also are present here. So, sir, how did it lie in the mouth of Lord Simon or of anybody else? Perfectly true. The Adivasis are here. My friend Mr. Jaipal Singh is here. He represents the Adivasis. Tribals also are here. In fact, everyone who has been elected, every element that has been elected to the Indian Constituent Assembly is here, barring the Muslim League. And the Muslim League represents a section, I take it, a large section, maybe a very large section of the Muslim community. But it is absolutely false to suggest that this Constituent Assembly consists only of one section of people, the caste Hindus, who have been born in this country only to oppress others and are now out to fashion something which will be disastrous to the interests of India. Now, is it suggested that if one section of the Indian people chooses to be absent from the Constituent Assembly, India shall continue to remain a slave country? That reply has to be given by the people of this country. I would say, sir, that we should tell the British once for all that we want to remain friendly with you. You started your career in this country as traders. You came as suppliants, as supplicants before the great Mughal. You wanted to exploit the wealth of this country. Luck was in your favor. By forgery, force, and fraud, you succeeded in establishing, these are all matters of history, you succeeded in establishing your government in this country, not with the willing cooperation of the people of this land. You introduced separate electorate. You introduced religion into Indian politics. That was not done by Indians. You did it only to perpetuate your rule in this country. You have created vested interest in this country, which have become powerful enough now, and which cannot be destroyed with their own willing cooperation. In spite of all this, if you really want that you and India to remain as friends in future, we are prepared to accept your kind of cooperation. But for heaven's sake, it is not the business. It is not the business of the British government to interfere so far as the domestic problems of India. Every country will have its own domestic problems. Unfortunately, India has her domestic problems too. And those domestic problems must ultimately be settled by the people of this country. I hope, sir, that we are not framing the Constitution now, as we are only laying down a general outline of the things that we are to do in future. I hope, sir, that we shall go ahead with our work in spite of all difficulties and obstacles, and thereby help to create that great India, which will be the motherland of not this community or that, not this class of it, but of every person, man, woman, and child inhabiting in this great land, irrespective of race, caste, creed, or community. Everyone to have an equal opportunity so that he or she can develop himself and herself according the best talent and serve the great common mother blessings of the earth.